I'm not ashamed to own my Lord, nor to defend his cause. Maintain the honors of his word, the glory of his cross.
Hello, I'm James Brown, and on behalf of the Eastern Church of Christ located in Toronto, Canada, I'd like to welcome you to Thursday's edition of Walking Through the Bible, a podcast where we seek to study the Bible and the Bible alone. Please stick around afterwards for information on how you can contact us. But for now, if you have your Bible with you, please turn to the book of Genesis, and we'll turn the time over to Jeremy Disacamp for our study of the day.
Thank you, James, and welcome to all of our viewers. This is the 45th lesson in our study of Genesis. Yesterday we covered Genesis chapter 11, verses 27 to 32, discussing Terah's family and their move from Ur of the Chaldees to Haran. If you missed that episode and would like to watch it, you can find it and all of our other podcasts on our website at www.eastendchurch.org. You can also find them on our YouTube channel at www.youtube.com/EastEndChurchOfChrist under the Walking Through the Bible Genesis playlist. Today we're going to begin with Genesis 12 verse 1 and read through verse 9. The text that you'll see on the screen is from the English Standard Version, but you're welcome to follow along with any version that you have. So let's now read Genesis 12, beginning at verse 1. Now the Lord said to Abram, "Go from your country and your kindred and your father's house to the land that I will show you. And I will make of you a great nation, and I will bless you and make your name great, so that you will be a blessing. I will bless those who bless you, and him who dishonors you I will curse, and in you all the families of the earth shall be blessed." So Abram went as the Lord had told him, and Lot went with him. Abram was 75 years old when he departed from Haran, and Abram took Sarai his wife, and Lot his brother's son, and all their possessions that they had gathered, and the people that they had acquired in Haran, and they set out to go to the land of Canaan. When they came to the land of Canaan, Abram passed through the land to the place at Shechem, to the oak of Moreh. At that time the Canaanites were in the land. Then the Lord appeared to Abram and said, "To your offspring I will give this land." So he built there an altar to the Lord who had appeared to him. From there he moved to the hill country on the east of Bethel, and pitched his tent, with Bethel on the west and Ai on the east. And there he built an altar to the Lord, and called upon the name of the Lord. And Abram journeyed on, still going toward the Negev. At the close of chapter 11, we have the death of Terah, Abram's father. The question then becomes, does this narrative take place before or after Terah's death? Well, this text doesn't really tell us. Another text does. If you have a Bible, turn to Acts 7. We're going to read verses 2 to 4. And Stephen said, "Brothers and fathers, hear me. The God of glory appeared to our father Abraham when he was in Mesopotamia, before he lived in Haran, and said to him, 'Go out from your land and from your kindred, and go into the land that I will show you.' Then he went out from the land of the Chaldeans and lived in Haran. And after his father died, God removed him from there into this land in which you are now living." Stephen, a follower of Jesus, was testifying before the Jewish council in Acts 7. He tells us that Abraham left Haran after Terah died. You might ask, so what? Well, that tells us that, like our dealings with Shem, Ham, and Japheth, when Genesis 11:26 says that Terah was 70 years old when he fathered Abram, Nahor, and Haran, it isn't giving us a birth order, but the time that Terah began having children. Reading it out of context, we might assume that Abram was the oldest, but such wouldn't be the case, or Terah would only have lived to be about 145 years old, contrary to the 205 years that Genesis 11:32 says. Doing some quick math, because Abram left Haran at 75, according to verse 4, that would tell us that Abram was born when Terah was about 130, and even though we don't know for certain, he was probably the youngest of Terah's sons. What we have in Genesis 12 is known as God's call of Abram. The Lord spoke to Abram and told him to leave his country from where he had been staying, and leave his father's house and go into a land that God would show him. When Terah died, Abram might have been tempted to return to Ur, but God told him no, go to a land that he would provide. This required faith on Abram's part, a trait that we will find exhibited throughout the rest of our study of him in Genesis. God's reason for moving Abram is because God was going to make of Abram a great nation. He would make Abram's name great. He would give Abram's descendants that land, and through the seed of Abram, all the nations of the earth would be blessed, a clear messianic prophecy. As we read in verses 6 and 7, the land they would possess would be the land of Canaan, with Canaan, of course, being the son of Ham. The place in Canaan where God told Abraham that his descendants would possess that land was Shechem. Whether that city existed yet, we do not know, but that place would be an important city when Israel settles in the land after Egyptian bondage. Abram doesn't remain in Shechem, though, but moves south to where Bethel would be and builds an altar there to the Lord. We're then told that he continued traveling further south in Canaan. With that, our time is up for today. Please join us, the Lord willing, tomorrow when we will continue our study of Genesis, beginning with Genesis 12, verse 10.
Thank you, Jeremy. And to our viewers, we also thank you for watching. Don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel by clicking on the subscribe button below. Should you have any questions or comments, please leave a comment below or email us at answerintheword@gmail.com. We'll try to respond to you as quickly as we can. We hope you'll join us, the Lord willing, tomorrow when we'll be continuing our study of the book of Genesis. Goodbye for now and have a great day.
I'm not ashamed to own my Lord.